Hello traders. So this is another video really aimed at people just starting out with trading, and what I'm going to talk about is candlestick patterns, and these are typically three candlesticks, three bar patterns, which is what I utilize for trading. Okay, so you'll notice two purple lines on my chart. That is the Bollinger Band, and you don't have to have them on, but I just want to put them on just to show you how useful they are for determining whether the pattern is valid or not. Okay, so I'm going to give you my top five, and these are the five that I always utilize when trading. So let's get cracking. The first one is a pin bar, okay, and this is a pin bar. So what I'm looking for is a candle which has a very narrow body, okay. If you look there, let's just measure it out and you can see the context of this. So the body itself is 342 pips, okay, and the tail here is 1,300 pips. I mean, that is a phenomenal high quality pin bar, okay. So rule of thumb, you want the tail to be larger than the body. Okay, if the tail is larger than the body, what it's telling you is that there are buyers here. Okay, so typically what I'd be looking for on a pin bar, I really look for confirmation. I only look for a break. So on the pin bar, the correct trade would be entry there and a stop loss down here. But with a pin bar this size, obviously you want to look at a different stop loss. So you could look at the close of this bar here, which would restrict your, will minimize your risk. Now, the interesting thing to realize, okay, is that if you look at the context of that pin bar, it is on the Bollinger Band. Okay, so whenever a pin bar happens off a level, the context thereof, there's another pin bar there, it's a circle, it's happening on a level. So again, your entry is above there, your stop is here. Okay, what you can also do is wait for a retest of the 50% Fibonacci of this bar. That'll be in a separate video. You can see here is another pin bar, and again off a level. So it's an indication price is going up. Okay, you can see here is another pin bar, and it's also off a level. The level is there. It's this tail here, which lines up with almost with the top there and with that close. So it's a fairly strong level with 3 touches on it. Again, entries on the top and stop loss here. And normally with the pin bars, your first take profit area is the height of the pin bar. Okay, so here you can see another pin bar. But now the context is wrong. So we are not near a level. You see that? The tail is nowhere near a level. And at the same time, it's kind of, we had a green pin bar. We had some selling pressure at the top there. So we've got, see, there's a green pin bar there. That's another green pin bar there, which is indicating that there's selling pressure. So you would have been short here with a stop loss up there. This one, if you wanted to trade it, your entry would have been up there. You would never would have been triggered. Okay, price would have moved to the downside. So yeah, so your bullish pin bars are obviously from the bottom. It doesn't really matter what color they are, but obviously if it's a green pin bar with greater buying pressure. On the top, it's just the converse. So if we had any recently, well, you can see these pin bars. There's one, there's one. So if you just keep your entry below the break of the pin bar, you wouldn't have been triggered. If you look at this pin bar up here, you'll see an entry below here would have been triggered with a stop up there, which would have worked out. Any of these pin bars in a strong trend here, you would have had entries below and you wouldn't have been triggered. Okay, so pin bars to me are the top indication that we are reversing in price. Here you can see a kind of a pin bar. The body is not that big, so the body is bigger than the tail, so it's kind of 50-50 call, but it is outside the Bollinger Band, which is always a good indication. So a break below there, you're in, your stop loss higher up. Okay, I'm using the daily at the moment, but obviously this works on any time frame. Right, so let's just move along here, and the next pattern that I utilize is the inside bar. Now the inside bar is another great pattern. You can see here there are quite a few of them. So here's the biggest one. So the inside bar is, for a bullish move up, is obviously a red moon candle to the downside. So it's a bearish candle, normally a big one like this, which indicates it's an exhaustion. Okay, and then we have either a gap up, or we open up here and it's a green bar which fits inside here. Okay, it's an inside bar pattern. So the way to play it is exactly the same way as a pin bar. Is you have your long entry there and you have your stop loss there. Again, this happens at a level, in this case at the bottom of the Bollinger Band. It's pretty strong, and if we look to the left, there would have been a level here. You can see here's some edge of your screen here, here's a pin bar. Okay, so let's just copy this, or move it rather. There is another pin, inside bar, and you see price move to the upside. Okay, there is another pin bar. I tend to ignore the tails. I only refer to the bodies as the inside bars. Okay, there is another inside bar. Okay, let's have a look. We can find some along the top. Okay, so there's one there. Copy. There's an inside bar. There's an inside bar, but that would have actually failed. These two green candles here, because the next bar gapped up and would have stopped you out if you were in there. Okay. There's another inside bar, and here we are at the moment. There's an inside bar. That one would have failed as well. You can see we gap below that. Okay. So inside bars for me are just as critical, and their relation to the Bollinger Band is always a good sign. There's an inside bar there. Okay, and sometimes you get a situation where you have multiple inside bars, which is always a very good signal as well. Okay, the next one is the engulfing pattern. So with an engulfing pattern, what happens is, so this bar here is engulfing. So it is bigger than the previous three bars, basically. Okay, and if it engulfs the whole candle, that's always a positive sign. Okay, let me just find another one. Okay, so there's a big engulfing candle there. And it did move slightly to the upside, but we hit the level, turned around, came back. Okay, there's an engulfing. So that bar is bigger than this bar. Okay, and let's just increase this. Just see if we can pick up some more. Okay, so we've got that one. I don't see it anymore, but essentially what you're looking for on engulfing, so what you're looking for in an engulfing pattern is that kind of setup, where you have, if you're moving to downside, you have a red bar, and then immediately a green bar that gaps down and engulfs that whole candle. If it engulfs more than one candle, that's an even stronger signal. Okay, on the top, engulfing to the top, you're looking for a green bar like this, and then a red bar that would come down. But this pattern here is a piercing pattern, which is also, depending on the chart you're playing with, is also a pretty good signal. In other words, you're running up, you gap down, and then you close below the low of this, so it pierces below. Okay, so it's also kind of an engulfing type pattern which you can utilize. Okay, the next one is double bottoms and double tops. Those are the next two. So a double bottom does not necessarily mean that I have to have two candles right on the line like this. Okay, this here is a double bottom. So there's a couple of things that you look for in double bottoms, and the one is divergence, which if you watch some other videos, you'll see what the diversions are. So it's when the oscillator is moving in the opposite direction to price. And the other thing is using the Bollinger. So you can see we are far outside the Bollinger with this. Okay, price always tends to want to come back to the Bollinger Band, which it did, came back, but now the distance from the Bollinger Band has narrowed. So you see, there we're far away, there we're close. That is a double bottom. Okay, and often what you can do is you can take a trade as soon as you see, you could take it on a retest of that level or this level, and with a stop pretty close to this tail. Okay, here is another double bottom. You can see here, this is a double bottom. Here's a double bottom, these two bars here. Okay, there's a double bottom. You see two bars that are sitting next to each other. And again, you can play it many ways. You can either look for an entry at the bottom here, if it lines up with a level, because normally double bottoms do line up with some kind of a level. And you can also look at it as a retest. So you can see here we had a pin bar. We moved up, came back with another pin bar. So there's a pin bar. Let's just circle in. So we've got one pin bar there, and we have another pin bar there. But those two together form a double bottom. And the height of the double bottom is there. So it went up, came back. So remember, what I've always said is market moves in twos and threes. So up, and a second attempt to get lower, which fails, and then it turns goes up. Okay, let's just look for another. There's a double bottom. So here, price went up, came back to test this low again, formed a double bottom, and moved to the upside. Okay, and obviously double tops are different. Well, not different, they're exactly the same, sorry. So let's just find some double tops here. Okay, so here you can see a double top. It's actually a triple top. Got 1, 2, 3 candles. So there's the high. We failed to break the high. We failed to break the high, and then we moved. Okay, here's another double bottom. Here's another double bottom here. With these two bars here. Here we have a double top. So here we're outside the Bollinger. Here we went outside, but we closed inside the Bollinger Band. So that indication of a double top. Same thing here. We hit the Bollinger Band there, hit the Bollinger Band, rejected there. That's another double top. Okay, this is also a double top here. So, and these typically work out every single time. So price is moving to the upside. And if I had an oscillator in, just get the balance volume and just add that to this. Okay, there wasn't really diversions on that. But what you do see is you see Bollinger divergence. In other words, we're outside the Bollinger Band here, and we are far from the Bollinger Band here. So entry is at the bottom here, stop at the top. And what you're looking for with a double top or a double bottom is it's essentially a range, and you're looking for price to move to the downside here. And if I put a line in there at that target, it took a good couple of days to get there, but it eventually got there, and then formed another double bottom here between this bar and that bar before moving to the upside. And if I calculate the range here, so it's from the bottom there to the previous high, I put that in, you'll see that price eventually got to that level. Okay, so whether it's a double bottom, whether it's a pin bar, whether it's an inside bar or engulfing, normally those two bars together form a range of sorts. So a break of that will give you your first target, the height of that range. And so what you always want to have is you want to have those patterns at a level. So if you look at this here, so you can see we're in a range here, and we've had inside bar, up, engulfing bar, sorry, inside bar, another engulfing bar here, up, inside bar, pin bar, engulfing, many patterns together, up. So whether you're using one or two or even three bars to look for these patterns, or you look at them over a bigger time period. So you can see here is a double top, there and there, and that was between November and January, so 2 months worth of price action, and that's a double top. Now, the very interesting thing here is that this double top here had a target down here, which was met. Okay, so these patterns play out all the time, every time, whether it's a 2-bar pattern or whether it's a pattern over many months or many days, they always work out. I hope that helps. Any questions, please ask in the comments, and I'll do my best to get a video out to respond to them. And catch you guys later.